Right, that's 12 o'clock. Let's crack on. Thanks for those that are here on time. Much appreciated. So today's going to be a bit of a generic chat. We'll talk about anything really. And yeah, first of all, I just have to talk about two awesome purchases I've made recently. Check out my hoodie. It's a HODL hoodie. So originally this, I saw a Facebook advert that hit me. As you know, Facebook basically serves me an advert. They just bombard me with like adverts from sort of 10 p.m. onwards. It just seems to know me. And one day I saw this advert and it said hold, and I was like, this amateur, whoever's selling this hoodie doesn't understand, you know, investing properly. And like I was like, no, it needs to be hodl, not hold. And then there was like 20 other comments going hodl. And then like a week later, the same advert was served to me, but it said hodl. So whoever the business owner was, well done for listening. And then I was like, yeah, definite buy. And it's really warm actually. Obviously, it must be cheap tat from China, but it fits really well. So yeah, so that's one thing. And then literally the second I bought this, another advert was served to me. I don't know why. It must have triggered something in the algorithm. Or in fact, it may have been listening to me because I was talking with a friend on WhatsApp. So just chatting, talking about how basically I was saying, oh yeah, I have sleep problems. I go to bed very late. I wake up, my sleep's always been shit. And guess what? A Facebook advert popped up of a weighted blanket. And I was like, a weighted what? But the advert was really good. It was a really good advert. I forgot who I bought it from. And I was going through the checkout. And so I've bought a 9.5 kilogram blanket. It's ridiculous. Honestly, it's like a queen size or king size. Yeah, it's a queen size blanket. But it's got little pouches in. And it's got like these organic glass beads in it that weigh it down. And it's 9.5 kilograms. So literally, it's like you get into it and it's like you're getting like squashed. I was surprised how expensive it was. It was £175. And the way I justified it to myself was, if it gets me at least 1 or 2 nights of better sleep per week, is that worth 175 quid? Yeah, hell yeah. So I did it, and it's amazing. I cannot stress how good it is. I thought, whether it's placebo or it actually works, I don't care. I've had 2 of the best night's sleep I've had in years. Literally, and I haven't changed anything else. I haven't changed my diet. I haven't changed my habits. Like, I was playing Age of Empires till about 1:30 last night with my mate in Australia. Tom Chapman, I don't know if he's here. He's probably not. He's probably asleep. What time is it in Perth? Was it 8 hours ahead? So yeah, it's probably night time for him. But yeah, I've had 2 of the best night's sleep I've had in years. So get a weighted blanket, and don't pussy around and get the weak one. Get the heaviest one, because it gave you different weights, like 4 kilograms up to 9.5, and I was like 9.5. So yeah, weighted blankets way forward. So. Again, if you have any questions on Clubhouse, please pop your hand up and ask away. Likewise on Facebook, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat box. Right, so Kevin has straight in for the crypto. Kevin has said, are there any crypto coins you currently have your eye on to buy? Interesting. So, yes and no. So I'm looking, in fact, if I just open up my trading view, not that you can see my screen at the moment, which is why I will be going on to Zoom next week. So I've probably got like 20, 30 different coins at the moment, simply because of the Kryptonian portfolio. And so all of the main ones I have are... Oh, actually, no, let's backtrack this. This is actually a really good talking point, actually. So the thing I was saying to my students yesterday is that you are most likely not going to become a crypto millionaire. And I want to say that again. Most likely you will not become a crypto millionaire anytime soon. And before you think I'm just trying to wee on everyone's crypto parade, I'm looking at this through just the stats, really. Especially if you're someone new who's getting into crypto right now, and I don't know, let's say you're buying, I don't know, let's say you're gonna be a bit, let's say you're not gonna buy Bitcoin, but I don't know, let's say you're buying Cardano. Okay, Cardano is a great coin. I love Cardano. So let's say what the average person will probably put, I don't know, $5,000 in, let's say, and Cardano is 125 right now. So let's say you just plonked $5,000 into Cardano right now. You'd end up with 4,000 Cardano. And so let's say you wanted to become a millionaire or get $1 million from Cardano. Well, what that means is a million, divide that by 4,000. It means that Cardano has to go to $250. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen anytime soon. Hell, it's most likely not going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years. At best, I can see Cardano going to $5 based on maths. But yeah, so and this is where I see a lot of people getting, they see what crypto's done recently and they think, oh my god, I need to get in, and they'll put $5,000 in, and they're expecting to make £1 million. So expectations are way out of whack. What crypto will get you, or is likely to get you in the current bull cycle, is maybe 1 to 5x. 5x if you're playing around with some shit coins, or some shittier coins, and maybe 200% if you're playing with sort of a blue chip. So that's that's what you should sort of re-establish your expectations to, because when you look at where we are in the bull cycle, we're likely to top out and start consolidating around January. So I would say between November to January is where we're sort of looking at the highs again, and then it's going to be another 3 years of or 2 to 3 years of consolidating. Now, when I say consolidating, that may also include massive crash. So what we could see is, Bitcoin zooming up to $100,000 and then pulling back down to 50. And I mean, that's quite likely, to be fair. So if you are getting in crypto, I just want to re-gauge your expectations. Whatever money you put in now, like let's say you're putting some money in on here right now on the 23rd of March, and you're putting them into, I don't know, blue chip cryptos. So it could be Bitcoin, Ether, Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink, Binance, all the main ones. Yeah, just you probably that's the key word here. You're probably looking at anything from 100 to 500% ROI, which is absolutely fantastic, by the way. You should not sniff at it. And I see too many crypto investors sniffing at redonkulous returns. Someone going, oh, my crypto portfolio is only up 50% this month. I'm like, Jesus, people have to work. Some investors spend 5 years trying to get 50% ROI if they average 10% a year. So so that's the thing. So going back to Kevin's question of what new coins am I looking at, or what am I planning to buy, it's a slightly controversial, and this is why context is everything. And I'm sorry, Stuart, you probably heard this yesterday. Basically, it all depends on where you are with your portfolio. So my whole portfolio right now, because I got back in properly, I put as in the bulk of my allocated funds back in January, the whole portfolio is up like 250, 300%. I haven't even checked last time. Last time I checked, it was 250, but it's gone up since. So my whole portfolio is up like 250, 300%, which means I now have a lovely cash buffer, or a profit buffer, that I can dick around with. And so one of the things I will be doing is portioning off, I think last time I checked, the whole portfolio is about £300,000. So what I could do is take 50 grand. So I could leave the portfolio as it is, but I could, take off 50. What is 50 grand of 300? 50 divided by 300. So 16%. Yeah, okay. So I could take maybe 15 to 20% of my pot now and just go full guns blazing into shitcoins. So what is the R multiple with shitcoins? Well, it's either going to be -1. So I could lose that 50k by plonking them into a bunch of shitcoins. Or with shitcoins, you then do have the upside, because some shitcoins have done absolutely fabulously. So yeah, ridiculous things. And the thing is, my whole Kryptonian portfolio I've got some really big coins. I mean, I've basically, with the tracker part, I've basically just bought the best coin in every sector. So when we look at something like the advertising sector, I've got basic attention token and got in January at 22 cents. That's now $1.19. So most of the portfolio coins have gone up like 500% already. What else is there? Theta coin I got in at $1.84. That's now touching $9. So sorry, what am I on about? $9. Sorry, no, it's $11.62. I don't know what. Sorry, I'm looking at the market open price. Sorry, yeah, it's $11.50 now, and I got in at $1.82. So there's all sorts of. I mean, that's not a shit coin, and it's still 10x basically. So, yeah, that's just something I thought I'd. Yeah. So in terms of shit coins, I don't know. I will be creating a shitcoin video for my students, as in my criteria, because I don't want to get into anything sort of sub $20 million market cap with a bad volume. And that's the other thing. Someone may look at they'll see some hype on the internet and go, oh, that's really cool, but then when you look at the 24-hour volume, it's pants. So what this means is, if you can probably get in on a good price, whatever. But if the 24-hour volume is pants, that means you won't be able to buy or sell properly. So let's say it does go up in price, because there's no volume. When you try and sell, you're going to get absolutely shafted on the spread because no one's trading it. So you've got to be careful with the volume. But yeah, that's just my thoughts, Kevin. Hopefully that helps. Janie said, try grounding sheet 2. Ooh, okay, I'm going to have a little Google of that. Okay, so Aaron, when transitioning from working in the business to working on the business, I like this question already. Do you allow a few months to slowly put some of the day-to-day processes onto staff, or simply create a sheet of tasks and give a couple of days training and get on with it? Yeah, you need a couple of months, mate. So it's actually a merge between the both. So what I would do is do some time tracking, and that's something I do every now and then, actually, probably once a year. Or it's whenever I'm unhappy with my day-to-day, if that makes sense. I go, right, I need to do a reaccounting of my time. Remember, time is people look at their bank accounts, go, I got, $5 grand, $100 grand, or whatever, and they I look at I have like a time bank account, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, money is like a metric of life, and that's all I look at. That's just like I just see it as a metric of life. One of the other metrics I look at is my time. And so when I'm not happy about my time balance, as in like how much time I have in the bank or whatever, on a daily basis, I then do some time logging. And what a time log is basically, I just analyze myself on over a few days and just literally I get my phone out, like a note, and then I just, every hour I go, right, what have I done for the last hour? I've done 15 minutes of cat videos, 20 minutes of Age of Empire videos, half an hour of just checking WhatsApp and doing the bloody stupid, no, not 20 minutes, probably 2 hours of doing that stupid cycle of emails, Facebook, emails, social media, back to emails, social media, YouTube videos. Like, yeah, sometimes I do get stuck in those stupid loops, but at least I'm aware of it, whereas most people, or some people aren't. So I do time logging, and then I analyze my time log, and go, holy shit, I'm an absolute muppet. I'm wasting and dicking around too much on YouTube, basically. YouTube is my time vampire, bloody time whore. So I do that as a whole, so I know my personal and business life, and then also with the business stuff, I can see what I'm actually doing on a daily basis. And so then you can sort of highlight the things that you don't want to do anymore. And then you need to create an SOP, So a standard operating procedure for that task that you want to chin off, and then you go and teach. So yeah, then spend a couple of days teaching the staff or your team or of whatever you're palming off. But it's not like a couple of days and get on with it. It's train them for a couple of days, then you need to monitor them, shadow them, and then once, after a while, and they're doing it fine, then guess what? You've palmed off that task. And that's how you do it. And eventually, if you want to sort of really get out of the business, it does take some months. And that's if you already have a team. If you don't have a team, it's going to take a lot longer because you've got to find them, hire them, train them, etc., etc. And the thing is, with a business, you will never get yourself out of the business. You will always be dragged in. So again, this is another re-gauging of expectations. So let's take the realistic trader, for example. The RT is actually largely automated. A lot through tech and a lot through systems. Tech systems and tasks, etc. So believe it or not, with the realistic trader, I do very little these days. So I will do a 2-hour live session on a Monday, and then I'll make various videos throughout the week, a bunch of other videos, and then probably I spend a good. Yeah, actually, I do spend a fair bit. I probably spend 2 hours a day just replying to messages of my students, so supporting them in the Facebook group. So really, that's all I do. I spend 2 hours replying to messages and trading questions in the Facebook group and stuff like that, and making the odd video. Probably 2 or 3 videos a week. But that's all I do for RT. Yet there's a whole heap of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. You wouldn't believe how much admin bullshit that comes along with a subscription-based business. Or a payment plan business. There is so much like sometimes I have some friends or people go, oh yeah, RTS a nice simple business. Really? And my brain sort of does a little meltdown. I'm like, oh, I just can't be asked to try and explain it. You would have thought, okay, someone becomes a trading client or student, etc. They pay, and then they all the videos are on the portal, and they just. Honestly, I don't even know where to start. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. It's ridiculous. It is even though I may seem like I'm pretty chilled out with RT and whatever, it is like a mad duck. I'm now chilled out, I guess, just helping the students, and that's where I should be. My sole job is helping my students, and that's what I've tried to get myself to. So I'm happy that all I do is help the students now. But my team are like mad ducks, feet ducks under the water. Feet ducks? Duck feet under the water. Dealing with a stupid amount of emails and questions and live chats and all sorts. But it's all good. And that's what business is. You can't expect to get into business and think it's going to be like a nice, easy joyride. It's not. The reason business is so freaking fulfilling is because it's so freaking hard. You never got any real sense of achievement by winning at something easy. And business is like the hardest game. It is the hardest game. People think golf is hard. Golf is a piece of piss compared to business. Literally. It really is. At least with golf, it's just the amount of time put in. Since January, I've done about 10 to 15,000 chips in the garden. So, as some of you know, I've got this big golf bet come in this year. And I was like, right, I'm shit at chipping. If the ball is within 50 feet, 10 feet to 50 feet of the green, I crap myself. I'm like, oh, I'm going to thin this. And it could be just on the edge of the green, and I'll boom, I'll thin it, and it'll go 50 yards past the green. And I always approach the ball scared. Now, I've just put the time in over, during lockdown and stuff. And every day I do a minimum of sort of 100, 200 odd chips. Yeah, so I've amassed 10 to 15,000 chips. So now my chipping is on fire. I'm chipping around the front garden anyway. So I've massively increased my efficacy of golf just by putting the time in. So I haven't had to be smart about it. I haven't really had to be clever about it. I've just been right, just get the repetitions, get the muscle memory in, change, get the swing right. But it doesn't take too much thinking, if that makes sense. Whereas business, you can't just put the time in. You cannot just put the time in like I've done with my chips in the garden. So if you do, you'll end up like, and I love my dad to bits, but you'll end up with a business like my dad, who did very well in the first year and then repeated that for the next 35 years. So he basically started business like 35 years ago, nailed it in year one, got shitloads of clients, and then has plateaued and started going down for the last 35 years, because like he hasn't adapted, doesn't think like smart, and doesn't go change with the times. But hey, that's what I guess a lot of baby boomer businesses are like. And so if you can work hard, you can work really hard in business and get nowhere, and that's the sad thing. A lot of people, they hear the Gary Vee, gotta hustle, and I've done that. I spent a good 5 years spinning my wheels in the mud, working my guts out, literally working so freaking hard. 18-hour days. I used to wear that as a badge of pride. Hey, how I've worked 18 hours today. But it's not smart. It's really not smart. And the moment I started working smart and not hard, that's when money started coming in, and that's when business started getting better and all that sort of stuff. So, sorry if there are any golfers here going, saying golf isn't hard. Golf is very hard, by the way, but it's nothing compared to business. And that's why there's not that many business owners, as in successful business owners. Like if you look at, like whenever you're looking at stats, you've got to look at the absolute scale. How many adults are there on the planet? I don't know. In a population of 7.8 billion people, let's say 20% of are kids. I don't know, let's call it, there's probably 5 billion adults out there. Well, okay, then how many adults out of that 5 billion are making, 250 grand a year take home? And then all of a sudden you're going to have like a teeny weeny, like 0.001%. And so when you look at that business on the absolute scale, very few business owners make more than 20 grand a month take home. Or hell, just profit in the business. And that then leads us on to another point. Business profit and take-home profit are two completely different things. Again, there are a sea of businesses that are making, let's say, 100 to 300 grand a year EBITDA, or now EBITDAC. But what is the actual business owner taking home? Bugger all. And that's the sad reality. Most business owners are actually worse off than their employed counterparts, if that makes sense. And I know this firsthand. Like when I left the Air Force, I had a little bet with one of my old instructors, my old flying instructors, and we were at the same stage. And I remember 24 grand. I remember he was trying to convince me not to leave the Air Force. And I was like, no, I've got to leave the Air Force. The Air Force is killing me here. And and I remember we both at the time had 24 grand in savings. And he was like, got to stay in the Air Force, mate. Just buy a house, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I've got to leave. I've got to get into business. I've got to progress my trading, all that sort of stuff. And I remember he parked that 24k in a deposit for a house. And then stayed at the Air Force, etc. And then obviously I went on my journey. Now for a long time, probably for the first 5 or 6 years after leaving the Air Force, he was winning. Like he had a nice income, he had a house, he had whatever. And what did I have in the first 5 years of business? Jack shit. I had pain, sorrow, constant cash flow problems, losing friends, losing health, losing everything. And so and that's what happens with most business owners. They get into that cycle where they get into that, the first 5 years of business is just generally shit, and they don't exit that. And those that do exit it, and so he was winning. But then fast forward time, in comparison, with our little race, he's not winning. God no. And then then you get into the next stage where you have a business owner that's doing really well, and the business is making 100, 300 grand a year profit. But when you actually look at what the business owner takes home, it's not much. That business owner is probably only on 20 to 45 grand a year salary. When I say salary, I mean let's just say take home, because most business owners will do salary plus divvies, etc. So let's just say business owner having a business making, I don't know, the business is making 300 grand a year. Business owner is probably taking home 40 grand a year or 45 grand a year. That's, and so there's a bit of a disconnect. It's like really successful business owner's not, but the business owner is only being compensated to that of, I guess, an ops manager of a big company. However, there is the long flip side to that, is that the business owner owns the equity of that business. So if that business were to sell, then that's where the payday is. But and so yeah, it's just one of those little gotchas that a lot of people don't really think about. So next time you see a successful business, 9 times out of 10, the business owner is not taking home that much money. And if that business owner is not going to sell, they're not going to realize the value in that business for a long, long time. And so this is why I've got different companies in different groups. So I've got 9 businesses in my group. So I've got 3 separate groups, if that makes sense. So I have lifestyle businesses. So the lifestyle businesses pay my lifestyle. So I rinse those businesses from cash, etc., because I'm not going to sell these businesses. So they are my lifestyle, and I rinse them. So if you look at the bank accounts of those businesses, they're very low because I'm literally just extracting every spare penny I can. But then I've got a couple of businesses which I'm looking to sell. So I don't rinse them. I don't even take a profit or a salary. In fact, yeah, my main business I'm trying to scale and sell, I don't take a salary from it. Although I should, but I don't. Every spare penny I just reinvest back into marketing. And so I just won't see. I will not take any money from that business. The money from that business will become when I sell. That is the game. So that's the 8-figure number that I'm trying to sell it for, and any spare penny is going to be reinvested. And so that business won't post a profit for a long time, because posting profits is wasted capital. And then I've got another group for sort of capability type stuff. But yeah, God, I'm ranting on about random stuff here. Sorry. Where the hell did that question come from? I think that came from Aaron's question about time and working on the business. Sorry about that. It just sort of went off on one. Okay, Adam, you must get similar Facebook adverts to my girlfriend. I got a weighted blanket and a wolf top for Christmas. Life changing. Yeah, we're buying the same stuff. I cannot wait until the next proper physical meeting. I'm just going to rock up in this, and if it's cold, I'll wear my wolf coat as well. I'm going to look like an absolute weirdo. So, Alexander, I personally appreciate your time when you're creating valuable content on YouTube and Facebook. Every day, I can't wait for the time to hear some nuggets. Oh, mate, thank you so much, Alexander. Very much appreciated. I'm glad. Like, the moment people stop watching this, the moment people don't, get any value from this, I'll just stop doing it. So, yeah, thank you. Amitai, golf business? No golf business. I just like playing golf. Right, Khalid said, I'm late to the live chat, so apologies if this is off topic or has already been asked, but everywhere I turn, I keep hearing about uranium trade. What's your thoughts? Yeah, the uranium trade is like this revolving door that goes through its various hype loops. The uranium trade has been going on for a long, long time, and the hype just comes. It's like the media keeps on talking about it. So uranium, I think, is a good play, but I wouldn't do it if you're looking for short-term profits. Like, uranium is something that you buy an uranium ETF and then just hold it for the next 10 years. That's the sort of play uranium is. So although a lot of people don't like uranium, it actually makes so much sense. Like, when we're transitioning from sort of fossil fuel, well, uranium is a fossil fuel to a degree. Whilst we transition from, say, an oil carbon-based world or energy over to a renewable energy, it won't just happen like that. There is a long transition period, and whenever you look at humans transitioning to a denser or more efficient energy source, it takes a long time. So when you look at the first energy source humans had was wood, and for hundreds of thousands of years, we derived energy and heat from wood. Now, when you look at the EROEI, the energy return on energy invested, it's like 25 to 1. So, so for every 1 joule of energy you get, burning wood, or finding and burning wood, you get about 25 out. So but when we transitioned from wood to coal, it took like 250 years. It was a long time. And humans, we tend to gravitate or transition to more dense energy sources. So coal was a far more dense energy source than wood. But then when we effectively transition from coal to oil, well, that transition still hasn't really finished. We still use... Oh, no, okay, no. The main transition, when you look at in industry, from coal to oil took about 100 years. Yes, we still use wood. Yes, we still use coal. But as in, I'm looking at the main global sort of transition. So from, wood to coal, 250 years, coal to oil, about 100 years, and we're still on oil. So when we're looking at the transition from oil to something else, whether it be nuclear, renewable, whatever, we're looking at least another 50 years probably. So obviously everything is accelerating. But let's say, I don't know, the year 2000 was the year where we started trying to go to renewable energy sources. Probably not even near 2000, probably 2010 the world really started to wake up. We've probably got another 20 to 50 years before oil is really dead. And they will, as I said in a previous chat, the oil industry as a whole makes $2.5 billion a day profit. So for every day they can delay that transition, they're making $2.5 billion. So guess what? There will be lots of negative press about uranium, solar, any sort of harvestable energy source. So yeah, uranium is a nice sort of stopgap transition. But uranium is like so the nuclear world is actually really cool when you look at it for nuclear energy, but it needs to change. So the way we have nuclear energy right now is we have these massive power stations, and they obviously generate a lot of energy, and then they have to sort of transmit that all across the country, and they're losing so much energy from heat dissipation. So, and it's just not logical. As I said, I think probably the other day when I sat outside Float Norwich, is that you need a decentralized and localized energy creation and distribution. And so when you look at some of the new types of sort of fast breeder reactors in terms of nuclear reactors, you have all of the benefits of nuclear power but none of the drawbacks. So if you look at like a thorium fast breeder nuclear reactor, there is like no downsides. You cannot get a meltdown. It does not blow up. You could like, and you can get these mini fast breeder thorium reactors the size of like a deep fat freezer. Is that what it's called? Deep freezer? You know, one of those big old chest deep freezers. Sorry, I was thinking of a deep fat fryer. Sorry, a deep freezer, chest freezer, whatever it's called. So you can get like a mini nuclear reactor which could power a small village. And what you can do is these fast breeder thorium reactors, like these mini ones, you could put it 20 foot underground and it will power the whole of Heatherset. I live around near Heatherset, and so all you need is like a thorium reactor which will last a long time. And hell, you don't even need to bury it because it won't. It literally cannot melt down. Or other similar sort of nuclear salt reactors. And so all you need to do is litter the country with a whole bunch of these mini reactors, and then it'll be more efficient because you won't have energy loss. Every town will be powered by these little tiny so that's the way forward. And uranium, I think will slowly grow in price over the next decade or so. But if I was going to play the nuclear play, I would buy thorium. But again, if you're buying thorium, you're not going to look at any real profits for another 10 years. So, and thorium is like 4 times more abundant than uranium. Thorium, I think, I need to fact check that. The last time I checked, I don't know, I can't do it here at the moment. Let's see if Google can help. How much more abundant is thorium than uranium? Screwed that up.
Thorium is a naturally occurring, slightly radioactive metal discovered in 1828 by the Swedish chemist Jöns Jakob
Three
Berzelius,
times.
who named it after Thor, the Norse god of thunder.
One sec.
It is found in small amounts in most rocks and soils, where it is about 3 times more abundant than uranium.
Okay. I wasn't far off. So thorium is 3 times more abundant than uranium. And it's much cheaper. And yeah, it's just better. So yeah, I'd love it. I mean, hell, that's a business idea in itself. If you have the time and the money, you could easily get together you could get together a team of, proper scientists and professionals, etc. Like a team of 20. You can get loads of backing, and your business model is to create a very safe thorium reactor the size of a chest freezer, and then sell them. And hell, if that was on the market right now, I would buy one. I'd plonk it in the garden and then power the rest of them, and then that surplus power just go into the grid. Why not? It's a business idea. It'll take a lot of money though. The amount of regulatory hoops you'd have to jump through would probably be obscene. So actually the easiest way to go about that is to buy an existing energy company with all of the sort of hoops already jumped through. That's not a bad idea actually. That way you sort of reverse into that project. Yeah, that's for another time. It's on the list though, maybe. Again, sorry for going off topic. That's my thoughts on uranium, Khalid. Paul, I remember you said. So Paul Juris said, I remember you said last week you're selling your silver to put into crypto. Is that just preference, or is crypto the better long term? Yeah. So my silver trade at the moment, I'm trying to sell half of my silver. I haven't done it yet. I've still got 500. I've sold a fair chunk. But I've still got 500 ounces of Canadian maple leaves to sell. But yeah, all I'm looking at is that I see crypto. We're getting towards the end of the bull cycle. As I said, January. So Christmas time is where we're going to see another peak. January time maybe. And I just think crypto is more likely, highly likely to grow a lot faster and higher than silver will from now until January. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Why don't I just free up some capital, put it into crypto, and then if I want, I can then put it back into silver. So that's that. Aaron said, what is a weighted blanket? Just a heavy blanket. Yeah, that's it. I didn't know what it was either. It has all these little pouches with sort of like these glass beads in that give it weight. Yeah, and I've got like a 9.5 kilogram duvet. Honestly, I feel like when you go under it, you feel like you're being sat on by an elephant. Right. Khalid, specifically Uranium Miners, you get commentators talking about 20x trades, Rick Rule, for example. Yeah, you probably will. But look how many uranium miners and explorers there are. There's loads. It's like picking the next shitcoin that's going to moon. It's hard. Unless you just buy a uranium tracker or... yeah, you can have a mini uranium portfolio if you wanted, but it's just slow profits for slow returns. When I compare the uranium play to crypto, I'm like, okay, crypto. Nothing beats crypto at the moment. Literally, when you look at the risk to reward, the asymmetric trade setup, nothing beats crypto right now. But come January, my tune will change because my tune changes in line with data. There was a troll the other day saying Siam changes his mind every 2 seconds. Yeah, because data moves and changes all the time. Only an idiot refuses to change their mindset and opinion based on new contradictory evidence. Change in topic. So Alex said, in Bulgaria, vaccination has been opened up to the general public, and we've had instances where SMEs would fire employees who refuse to vaccinate. I assume it's only a matter of time until the same happens in the UK. I agree. How do you deal with that issue? Well, I own the companies, so I can fire whoever I want, but I'm not going to discriminate in my businesses. say you want to do another. Oh, okay. So say you want to do another RT ski trip and your staff refuses to vaccinate. How do you address that? I go, good on you, mate. Fine. I don't give a shit. Like, yeah. I mean, what we do know for a fact now is that having the vaccine doesn't stop you from being infectious or infected. It's like wearing a condom that doesn't guarantee to do it. Yeah, anyway, another topic. But in my businesses, I will not discriminate. So, and shame on you if you're a business owner that will discriminate. If you're a business owner and you are going to discriminate your staff that refuse to get a vaccine, shame on you. Shame on you. Moving on. Gary Martin, thorium cars. That's the Fallout games coming true. Maybe. I never played Fallout other than that on the mobile where you build like an underground thing. I never saw a thorium car. But yeah. Aaron said, where are you selling my silver? Oh, silver Siam. So eBay or friends and family or contacts. Anyone that's, yeah. So for example, the maple, I've got the 2015 Canadian maple leaf for sale at the moment. When you go to bullion by post, the last time I checked, it's like £43 a coin, because with maple leaves you got to pay VAT. Well, I'm not charging VAT, so I'm selling my maple leaves at like £36 a coin. So massive saving for those that want maples. But yeah. Right. I think that's it. Oh yeah, it's just a quick announcement. So tomorrow is my son's birthday, so I won't be doing a live session, so it won't be a 12 o'clock session tomorrow. And on Thursday, we're going to have a really, really cool session. So Thursday will be a Zoom session. I'll post the link, so it'll be a free open live session, but it'll be on Zoom because I'm going to be joined with one of my good friends, Lucinda Dawes. And Lucinda Dawes is a very good copywriter. So let's see if I can find her website so I can start. Lucinda Dawes copywriting. Shit, I should actually know her website. I don't. Here we go. Strategic content marketing.co.uk. I'm just, where is it? Here we go. So I'm posting the link here. So this is Lucinda, and on Thursday we're going to be doing a joint session, and it's going to be a website critique session. So what we're going to do is, so the reason we're using Zoom is first of all it's real time, not like this 20-second lag on Facebook, and we're simply going to go through as many landing pages and websites as we can, critiquing them. And basically doing CRO, conversion rate optimization analysis and copywriting. So, if you want your website or landing page to be critiqued, and Lucinda and I to just go through it and saying, we changed that headline, move this here, blah, blah, blah. That's what we're going to do. So stay tuned for Thursday at 12 o'clock. It's going to be fun. And so, my whappers have first dibs. So I don't know, we'll probably... I think we will probably get lots of website suggestions, so the whappers will get first dibs. So we'll be analysing our whappers websites and stuff. And by the way, it may sound like a bit weird, but CRO is one of the most important parts of marketing, which no one does. Conversion rate optimization. And you, for example, I've got a friend who's just about to launch a business, and his landing page is just a wall of text. And and he's got a great product, but I promise him, and I guarantee that his landing page won't do anything, and he's going to bleed money. Because when you land on a page full of text, what does the user do? Go away! I want pretty pictures and smiling faces, please. That's what happens. And so CRO, conversion rate optimization, is so important. So that's what we're going to really focus on Thursday. So stay tuned. I'll post the link to that Zoom session on my Facebook somewhere. And for those on Clubhouse, follow me. Just stay tuned for the link. I'll put it out on my Facebook. So just try and follow me on my personal Facebook profile. Right, gotta shoot. Love you all. See you Thursday. Toodles. Bye.